Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now of course HYACINE did just recently release, and as we all know, her and little Ika can kind of hit like a truck, so I decided to do a fun experiment to see whether my E0S0 HYACINE could out DPS my E0S0 Blade. Now of course HYACINE is supposed to be a healer, whereas Blade is a 1.0 DPS, so I thought this could make for a fun little comparison. Now, of course, this isn't a proper review, this isn't to say which one's better than the other, this isn't the praise of one character, this isn't a critique of one character, this is just for fun. Originally, I kind of got known for, testing out Blade and using him whenever I could, but after Blade kind of fell off, that kind of stopped a bit, so now I want to see if maybe HYACINE will dethrone Blade, or whether he can just about still stand his own before he gets his buffs in 3.4. Now, with that being said, first of all, we're going to be using HYACINE and Blade together, with Blade being the hyper carry, using also Sunday to help with Blade support as well as Tribi, which will boost both Blade and HYACINE's damage as well, and also provide some personal damage of her own. And then later on, we're going to be swapping out our Blade for our RMC, who will later be buffing up our HYACINE to let her and Ika do some absolute nuke damage. So yeah, with that being said, hope you guys enjoy. But real quick, if you guys want to pull for any version 3 units, then I have the perfect thing for you, and that's today's sponsor, lootbar.gg. You can use Lootbar to top up in your favorite games like Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact and save up to 25%. Lootbar leverages favorable exchange rates and uses Hoyoverse partner ads, so you can get the most affordable prices and enjoy all Hoyoverse top-up bonuses as well. And with the top-up bonus reset in 3.2's anniversary, this means that you can get double the generic shards with your first purchase on Lootbar. Transactions on Lootbar are also simple, safe and secure, as you only need to enter your UID and your region in order to get fast delivery. For example, if I want to buy the 3,280 generic shards, all I have to do is go down here, enter in my UID, as well as my server region, and then go to top up now, and they typically arrive in less than a minute, and you can get double for your first time purchase thanks to the anniversary. And creators like Raiden Shotgun, To That Time, and Mordex Tryhard are all also collaborating with Lootbar, so they are trustworthy, and they also have some very good reviews on Trustpilot, and I just use them myself so I can vouch for the authenticity, speed, and security. New users can also get an extra 10% off, so be sure to check out Lootbar with the link in the description. Thank you to Lootbar, and back to the video. Alright, well then, here we are on the first off with our Ika and HYACINE team. I don't know why I said Ika's name first, I'm not gonna lie, half the time when I think of HYACINE, I think of Ika first because of all the memes of Ika's, well, size. And for those of you who saw the wishing video, I keep bringing it up, but I did have to spend 160 summons for Ika, so I always like to say that Ika ate all of my summons. I did it again, I said Ika instead of HYACINE. Anyway. This is my first time trying out this team. I am pretty damn excited to use it. Now, of course, we have seen a DPS sustain team before, because of course, I know some people like using a link shot, not necessarily as a DPS, but more so as a driver for break teams. Just put link shot as well as free supports, and it works pretty damn well in things like Pure Fiction. Hopefully we can do the same here with a hyper carry HYACINE. Now the unfortunate thing here is that since we don't really have HP drain on this, that we can't speed up Pollux's enhanced state, so we can't really do much damage right now. For example, if we're using a Castris here, as soon as Castris spawns in her Neverwing pretty much, or basically after a skill, Pollux will go into their enhanced state because of our team-wide HP drain, but unfortunately that's not the case here for HYACINE, so we do just need to wait for the stall phase to be over. I think I'm just going to use Sunday's ultimate here to battery our HYACINE, so that now we can ult on her turn, which will give us slightly better uptime. And there we go, because yeah, if you ult on her turn, it's basically like getting an extra turn of her ult. I'm sure a lot of you guys will be familiar with this. It's the same with Loach's healing field if you ult on his turn, or if you ult on Ruan May's turn. So yeah, and it actually also allows us to use a basic attack here so that we can conserve a bit more SP. So now let's go for an eco attack. Oh, we're actually gonna break Neverwing here, possibly. Yes, we do. Okay, but that actually does nothing because he's just gonna go right back again. And there we go, there is the enhanced state. It basically took us an entire cycle to get into this state, which is slightly annoying. I don't like the fact that I waste one cycle, but then again, technically they didn't give us a, because this is only one wave. Normally in MOC we do have 2 waves, so you know what, I'll excuse it. Anyway, we do get to refresh RMC's buff. Once again, we're gonna ult on HYACINE's turn, gives us an extra turn for the ult, like we just explained. Let's see, 233k there on the first hit. How much on the second hit? The answer is 197k, so that's already about 430k there that we've done. And if we go again, thanks to Sunday's action advance, we do another 182k, we'll always take those. That's a very decent rotation already. About halfway done there. And also with Dance Dance Dance, we get to go again with our Hyacin because of how fast she is right now. Okay, so let's see. Once again, we go for the team-wide healing so we can generate a bit more energy for ourselves. And another 264k, very, very nice. And we get our ult again on her, which is very, very nice. Only 7% HP left, 7% left on the, okay, Pulx's bar, there we go. Just an extra 12% to them. Now, using Sunday's skill here, we can pop a ult on our Hyacin. And then also pop Sunday's ult right away. Hopefully before Ika takes his action. Never mind. Unlucky. So this one won't have all the buffs. Yeah, only we see 190k there. Now let's buff her up again, which will also give her back some energy. So we can have even better Ika uptime right now. And now this should finish him off. There we go. 229k. And we're already into the second HP bar, which I will not complain. We're on the 28th cycle and we're already halfway done. Now, of course, again, we do have to wait for the enhanced state once again. So I'm just going to basic here because we have a lot of turns to spare. So we should honestly okay, never mind. We don't get hit here, so we don't get our ult. We can probably just go for another basic here, and that will allow us to conserve some SP, which is perfect because we do have to refresh our Triby's skill here, and we can't quite use her ultimate yet, which is unfortunate. Maybe now. Nope, but we'll probably get it as soon as we get hit here. There we go. And that's the enhanced state active, so let's refresh our Triby ultimate, advance our team as well. Nice. Actually, I probably could have waited to use that advance. I think we already had some ult up time left, but I'm not too certain either way. Anyway, let's advance forward our Hyacin once again. Pop the ult, get the first Ika action. Let's see, how much do we do here? Also, just an extra 50k from Triby. Very nice. 355k there from Ika. Okay, crazy. I see you, little bro. And then 260k. We nearly did 600k there in just 2 Ika actions, which is absolutely huge. Now, of course, this team isn't ideal. Sunday isn't speed tuned to Hyacin because Hyacin does just have some insane speeds, and I don't have insane relics on my Sunday, so it's just on a standard 134. But it gets the job done sometimes, so you know what? Not going to complain. 174k there, and she gets to go again. And actually, we might see another turn here from RMC. Yes, we do. So this is going to be our third action using Ika. Now, unfortunately, we are not going to have our ult up quite yet. Okay, I think we probably just go for a basic attack here and then pop our ult again. So unfortunately, this isn't going to be on our turn, but you know, we do want to just do as much damage as we can. Can we maybe get a 27 cycle? Let's see. Okay, well, with 19% HP, I doubt that Ika's going to do that much. I don't think we're going to get a Triby ult here either. No, we don't. Oh, if we got a Dance 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 proc, we definitely could have gotten another Ika action. That's so annoying right there. Okay, I don't think we're going to be able to get a 27 cycle. But we got pretty damn close there for the first time of asking. I mean, maybe you guys can, but with that being said, let's move on to the Blade half and see if Hyacin clears better than Blade. Alright, and now we're here with our Blade half. Of course, this time Hyacin will not be the target of our buffs. Instead, it will be Blade. You know, Hyacin will still be doing some bonus damage, but you know, I just really hope that our Blade doesn't get outperformed here by Hyacin. Anyway, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to wait to use Hyacin's ultimate on her own turn this time, because getting her ult up right now won't really matter. Now, we do actually manage to get Neverwing into their Pollux in their enhanced state right away, actually, because of all of the HP drain, which is very nice. We are going to action forward our Blade here, trigger the ult on his turn as well, and we go. Now, like I said, I am just going to wait here to use my buffs on our support's turn so that we can just work with a little bit extra SP. I'm not going to lie, this damage rotation here probably won't matter that much. Okay, but now we can go ahead, use our Hyacin skill on her as well to make sure we get extra energy, as well as heal more of our team's HP. And now if we also use our Triby right here, we can go for the ultimate, and there we go. And now for the basic as well, generate one more SP point. And now on the Hyacin, since we ulted on her turn, we probably can just use our basic attack here. We'll get a bit of healing there, but won't really matter that much in the long term. Okay, 192k on Blade into, let's see, 284k on the follow-up, to 129k on the next basic attack. This is with all of our buffs up right now. Probably want to go for a skill here so that we can ult on Hyacine's turn again next turn, because there we go. Yep, we got our energy back there. Perfect. Now, okay, we will probably get to go on Blade again. We're also going to be able to use our ultimate to stun. Okay, unfortunately, we do have to use his skill again. You know what? I'm going to basic here, because what I want is I want to make sure we go after Sunday, because I feel like that's probably the best play there. We're going to go for a follow-up attack, 204k, into a ultimate here for 214k. Very nice. But yeah, I definitely want to prioritize using Sunday's skill so that Sunday can get more energy back instead of waiting on Bladey's turn. So yeah, unfortunately, we have to sacrifice a basic attack there, but it won't really matter all that much in the long term. We're not quite hitting 300k yet, but remember, guys, Blade buffs coming in 3.4. Maybe then 300k in this team will finally be reachable for Blade. You know, would be very hype if you ask me. Okay, probably just want to go for a skill there and now launch a ult, and will this give us a follow-up attack as well? Okay, that just it didn't give us a follow-up attack, but it straight away took out Pollock. So now we are into the second health bar, going into the 28th cycle, which is similar progress to our Hyacin. I think slightly quicker right now. Since we have some spare SP points, we can just use our skill here. So we probably won't need to refresh Blade quite yet. So we can go for a basic attack there. Actually, I'm kind of hoping that we need to use our Blade's skill here, so that maybe, actually no, Neverwing is gonna action forward soon anyway. So I think we just have to use our Sunday ult straight away instead of sitting on it, because then we'll probably be wasting a bit too much of our uptime. And now we wait to use our ultimate right now, basically. Okay, this will heal us back up to half. Unfortunately, won't count towards our stacks. 213k there on the ult. 19k for Triby on her follow-up attack. With Hyacine, let's just use a basic attack and hit for 82k on Eco. So yeah, as you can see, the Eco buffs are, Eco's damage right now is much lower because, of course, they don't have the buffs. But we will take it either way. Okay, 122k into 233k from the follow-up to the basic. Do we still have uptime? Oh, okay, we managed to get a skill refund. Very nice there. Okay, another 113k there. We're moving into the 27th cycle. I should have waited to use Hyacine's ult there for just one more turn. I did not realize she was going to go so soon. Okay, that's slightly poor on my part. Can we action forward our team right now? Okay, we can, but it won't make us go ahead of Neverwing. But they're on 48% HP right now. Blade deals 202,000 there. 91k on the basic, just short of 100k. Not my favorite sight in the world, but it's fine, I suppose. 108k and hopefully over 200k there on the ult. This should also get rid of that last 8%. Yes, it does. Okay, 230k, 13% HP left only. It would be so... Oh my god, wait. What if Hyacine and Eco's damage will actually make Hyacine and Ika outperform them on the hyper carry team? Wait, this could be insane right here. Will we get a 27 cycle clear? Oh, okay, wait, Blade. Will Blade finish it off? Blade finishes it off with his follow-up attack. We managed to get 27 cycles on Blade with a action remaining. I'm very glad about that. So just barely, Blade was able to outperform Hyacine. Now, I will say, of course, if you're not using Hyacine in the Blade team, then Hyacine will probably get you a better result. So yeah, I mean, Blade Hypercarry still isn't in the best position unless you have Hyacine on your team, because she will increase his damage as well as provide a lot more personal damage. Although luckily she doesn't out DPS him on that team, otherwise that would be fairly awkward. But if you have both of them, I would definitely recommend running them together. And also after the Blade buffs, it could be even stronger. But with that being said, let's move on to some final thoughts, character builds, and then the outro finally. Well then, as you can see, Hyacine did actually turn out to be a pretty damn good DPS. Now, of course, Blade did just slightly edge her out, although that was, of course, with the help of Hyacine herself. So a bit of self-sabotage there, I suppose. But yeah, like I said, this was just for fun. I'm not trying to, you know, review the characters, say which one's better than the other. You know, I love both of them. I think they're very fun, especially played together. And I also can't wait for Blade's buffs in 3.4 so that team can become even stronger when you play them together. Now, real quick, when it comes to our character builds, when it comes to our Bladey, he's on 6.2k HP, 138 speed, 48 crit rate, of course goes up to plus 16 thanks to Longevous, as well as plus 20 from Sunday. So this ends up being around, if my math serves me right, about 84 crit rate if I'm not mistaken. And then of course the 170 crit damage, we will get extra number 36 from this light gun, as well as 25 from the bomb collector set, as well as more from Sunday, which will bring us to about 310 crit rate, I believe, or crit damage rather, or high 200s, I don't quite remember. For the traces, they're fully maxed out. Relics, speed, double crit, as well as 9 speed, double crit. Crit damage with 4 speed stats, because we need it for the speed breakpoint with Sunday. Then for the speed boots, double crit as well. Not the highest rolls, but you know, still nonetheless. A wind orb with 5.5% crit rate, as well as 18.7 crit damage. And for the link rope, we only have 8.1 crit rate here. No speed stats, unfortunately. Otherwise, then we could go for a crit rate substat on our crit damage body piece. For our Eidolons, of course, E0. I would have loved to gotten his E1 when we were wishing for Hyacin, but we got Bailu instead. Then when it comes to Hyacin, 201 speed, over 5k HP, which is nice. Only 81 crit damage, so her personal damage won't be insane. But then when we run her with RMC as well as Sunday, they give insane crit damage buffs, so she'll still probably hit like over 200 if we're being honest. Also for her light cons, we do have the How to Store light con S5. Traces maxed out other than the basic attack and missing a bit of effect res. For the relics, unfortunately we don't have a signature set. Maybe she could have performed better with it, because that does buff both herself as well as the entire team. When it comes to here though, we have speed, HP, crit damage, outgoing healing bonus, as well as HP percent, speed boost with HP as well as the HP orb on the giant tree planar ornament set with speed, flat HP. And then for the rope, we also have 9 speed, as well as some flat HP and 6.4 crit damage, as well as a bit of effect res to prevent getting CC'd. And then she's also E0. So yeah, not the signature relic set. I do technically have a signature relic set for her, and although it does just about get 200 speed as well. For when it comes to the HP, it's about 4,300, and the crit damage substats aren't much better. So yeah, I'm still gonna wait until I get better pieces on that. When it comes to our RMC, 166 speed, 233 crit damage, 124 ERR on a S4 victory in a blink, traces, maxed out memo sprite skills, and then a few minor traces as well as personal traces missing. 2p speed again, speed, crit damage, speed, crit damage, speed and crit damage, HP, speed, crit damage, as well as ERR, speed and crit damage. Eidolon, she is also E6, and then for our Sunday, 134 speed, 247 crit damage, also on 134 ERR, thanks to the 10% from the Health Store Light Cone S1. Traces, maxed out on the basic attack, 4 piece on Sakados for the extra crit damage that we get as well. And then also crit damage body with speed, crit damage, you get the drill. Attack orb, because it has the best speed and crit damage substats. I would normally use HP, but I can't right now. As well as the ER orb with 21 crit damage as well. And also he is E0. And then finally for our Tribi, 88 speed, so she does get the poet set buffs. 54 crit, of course, does go up to about 86 thanks to the poet set. 164 crit damage will go up to over 200 when played with RMC, and about 190 when not played with RMC thanks to the bone set once again. When it comes to the light cone, dance, S5 traces maxed out other than the basic. Like I said, poet set, basically what was left over from Castoris. And then also, like I said, the bone set, once again, left over from Castoris, Mighty, and Blade. And then for the Eidolons, also E0. So yeah, that's it for our character builds. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts on both Blade and Hyacin. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. See ya.